but Democrat Joe Manchin, who found himself the target of a whole bunch of tweets over the weekend. Joining me now, Senator Joe Manchin, live from Washington. Senator, thank you for being back on the show.
Oh, good to be with you, Hallie. Stay warm.
Yeah, thanks. So, a little chillier where you are based on the comments from the president, who tweeted this weekend calling you Senator Munchkin of West Virginia, saying he was surprised and disappointed that you voted against him, basically, saying that they, meaning your constituents, are really mad at you back in your home state and that you're just a puppet for Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Senator, I want to give you an opportunity to respond.
Sure. Well, first of all, the Munchkin, I'm taller than him. I think I'm a little bit bigger than he is. Not heavier. He's much heavier than me, but I'm a little taller than him. So I guess he's got that little bit off. And on the thing of the attack, it's nothing I didn't expect. I mean, the thing I've said all along, and I referenced that I didn't understand the transcript. And I hope he wasn't referring to, because I'm from West Virginia, that we can't understand or comprehend. I think we do a pretty good job of that, and I understood it very well. I read it and understood it. And it was directly, the evidence was overwhelming, Hallie, and I was hopeful that the president said he wanted a fair trial in the Senate, that he would bring witnesses forward. And I know where I come from in West Virginia, if someone accuses me of something, and I know I'm innocent, I can't wait to show that person wrong. I can't wait to bring witnesses that will refute what was said about me or evidence that proves it also. They did none of that. They just said the president's above the law and the executive branch can do what they want to, and that's not how I interpret the Constitution or Federal 65 or Hamilton, what his intent was and what the framing of our Constitution, how they believed this to be.
Senator, I'm old enough, though, to remember early on in this Trump administration when you did work with and want to work with President Trump on a number of issues, partly because, frankly, your state, that was a political advantage in many ways because the president won West Virginia by more than 40 points. How are you not more concerned that the president's attacks against you could end up being this political liability for you?
Well, I'm not worried about the politics of it. I didn't do it because of the politics. I've always said if I can go home and explain how I voted, I'll vote for it. If it makes no sense, I'll vote against it. There's a lot of things that the president has done that I have liked and supported. I'm the most bipartisan Democrat in all of Congress that votes with him more than anybody else. And I'm still going to look at the issues when I think it's good.
He called you a munchkin. Are you still able to get something done with him legislatively?
Do you think names bother me? I mean, do I look like I'm small and fragile? Names don't bother me, and the president knows he can't get to me that way. I'm not going to retaliate. The people want a matured adult, and that's what the president should be. That's who we want as our president. I want him to succeed. This is not personal with me. I mean, he can call the names he wants to. It makes him look like an immature adult, and I hope he rises above that. I really would, and I think it's best for our country. But still, we've got a lot of good things that we can do. We got a good energy bill coming up. Might be the only thing that can be done in Congress. And Lisa Murkowski and I work very close together. Now, I'm still friends with everybody. I'm not looking at this as a dividing line and it separates us. We're separated enough. We have a divider in chief. What we need is a uniter in chief, and I'm hoping the president comes back to that.
One of the things, as you know, I cover, obviously, the White House back home in Washington. And on Friday, we were doing stories from NBC Nightly News on this Gordon Sondland, Alexander Vindman firing, essentially, both of them forced out of their positions at the NSC and its state. We saw that letter from your minority leader, Chuck Schumer, asking for protections out of concern about retaliation. The New York Times reported over the weekend several Republican senators have some serious concerns. They tried to stop the president from firing Ambassador Sondland, who at that point was already on his way out. Are you concerned that the president is seeking revenge on people who testified during the impeachment trial, and who could be next?
Well, from past practices, I think that's his mode of operandum, and I would hope not. We have to do everything we can to protect the whistleblower, whoever they may be, wherever they may be, if we do wrong. That's the checks and balances we have in a system that has three equal branches of government. I want the president to understand, and I would say this. Senator Robert Byrd said, I've worked through 10 different presidents. I've never worked for one, but I've worked with and tried to work with all 10. I feel exactly the same way. The president's not my boss, but he's a president of our country, and I want him to succeed. I'll work with him and try to help where I can. He needs to understand that there's going to be checks and balances.
Should Ambassador Sondland and Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, should they have been removed from their positions then?
Not at all, Hallie. Not at all. That shouldn't have happened. But the president does have, I was a governor of the state, I had the right to change whoever I thought was more competent or could do a better job or communicated well. This is a total retaliation for these people speaking the truth. Usually when someone speaks the truth and they're qualified in this, I try to figure a way that we communicate better. He has a different mode of operandum through these types of actions, and I think it's very harmful to our country and to our way of life and our government. And I would hope that some of my Republican friends would exercise the right they have, being in the legislative branch, that we have equal powers. We don't work for any president, and the president should want to work with us.
Okay.
And if not, we have to use the powers we have.
Senator Manchin, just about out of time, but real quick before I let you go, you haven't endorsed
Sure.
anybody in the Democratic race. We're here in New Hampshire for the big primary tomorrow. Who do you like? Who would you campaign for?